Okay guys, so now we're ready to go on in this sleeve waiter series. And as you're seeing, there's many options we have from here. It's essentially like we have close guard when we're in this spot, right? Because we see that there's so many different options. We have a hip sweep, we have submission exposure, we have all these different variations. And this next option is going to be basically because of the weight of my opponent. In Jiu-Jitsu, what are we always thinking about? We're always thinking about the base of our opponent. Based on the base of our opponent, we can figure out what to do next, where we're going to go, what we're going to do. It's all based on the base and reaction of our opponent. I always say this, and it's so true, you know? If you're not going based on the base or reaction of your opponent, you're forcing. It's as simple as that. And people will be successful with forcing, but forcing something requires strength and energy. And we're trying to always conserve as much energy as we can in Jiu-Jitsu, right? So now we learned that when the person puts their weight on the front leg, they come back, we have that hip bump sweep because we're able to because their weight's on that front leg, we're able to sweep them this way on their front leg. Like a Kimura sweep almost, right? We went into a lot of details about that and like what's happening there. And like, it's so interesting how the hip opens and you fall and then you get on top of the body. And now we're going to learn when the person doesn't put weight forward, if they just stay back. Going to the omoplata and triangle are great options when the person's hips are a little up, they're more center with you, right? Because their head could come square with you. Their shoulder could come square with you. But when the person sits back, they put all their weight on this back leg. Their front leg is light now. So a good thing that I want you guys to think about, anyone that's watching this that plays X-Guard will understand this completely. And it's basically, when you're playing X-Guard, how could somebody backstep you? Go X-Guard me. Just regular X-Guard, like old school X-Guard like this.
Next question.
Yeah. No. If she's in X-Guard on top of me, how can I backstep her? The only way I could backstep her is whenever I could get weight on this front leg, because I can put weight on it. Now I can remove my back leg. But if I'm in X-Guard, change the angles, please. If I'm in X-Guard, and all my weight, stretch my leg this way. If all my weight's on the back leg, how do I backstep on her right now? My foot is off the floor. There's no way I could backstep her right now. That means she can sweep me. Okay? So let's think about this concept here. Whenever we're playing this waiter position and we notice the person sits back, putting their weight on their back leg, this is going to enable us to sweep them. All their weight's on the back leg. And if you think about it, many spots in Jiu-Jitsu are like this. If you watch the Berimbolo system, I hope you did. The Berimbolo system, every time I'm going for the back, their weight's on the front leg. And then when they put weight on their back leg, I sweep them. It's the same exact concept, guys. All of Jiu-Jitsu is the same. I keep saying this over and over, but it's so true. She puts her weight, if I put my weight on the back leg to defend waiter, I have no weight on my forward leg. All my weight being on the back leg, I'm swept. I can't come up without putting weight on the front leg. So this concept we take advantage of on multiple occasions with waiter. You're going to see that when I play with the lapel waiter, when I play with many different styles of waiter. You're going to see that whenever they put their weight on their back leg, this is sweep territory for us, okay? That is how I want you guys to think about this. When the weight's on the front leg, there's going to be the hip bump sweep exposure. Anything going under this leg, we'll be able to do whenever their weight's on the front leg. When the person's square with us, we'll have submission exposure, right? Because we're able to bring their shoulder and head square with our body to get our head square with the shoulder or the head, right? For triangles and omoplatas. But if I stay on my back leg, all my weight being on this back leg, what does that mean? That means that this leg has no weight on it. So if I try to lift up this leg, I try to do things with this leg, there's no weight there to do anything with it. That's why it's difficult for me to move this leg. Okay? I'll give you one more example. I'm going to be in double stack. And she's going to have hip grips on me here. Just get double hands here. If I'm here and I put all my weight on my legs like this, lift me up, it's going to be really easy. Now lift me up and bring my legs to my head. Lift me up and put my toes to the floor. No, like yes.
Sorry.
There you go.
Kind of fell the first time.
You see? Because I'm putting weight on my legs. Now I'm going to take all the weight off of my legs and now stand up and now put weight on the floor.
There's no weight on my legs anymore for her to put weight on the floor. You see? If my weight's on my legs, lift it, go. Lift it, go. She can't because there's no weight on my legs for her to lift. So this concept in Jiu-Jitsu is a super important concept. Basically, whenever you take weight off of a spot and you put all your weight somewhere else, that spot becomes extremely strong. So if I'm in waiter and I feel this front leg has no weight on it, it's gonna be very strong because there's no weight on that leg to make it weak. I need weight on this leg to be able to move it. If there's no weight on it, it's gonna be very, very strong. Same thing in berimbolo. Let me go under you. How are you around that back when I go under? I'm in berimbolo. I'm trying to move her leg. All her weight is on his back leg. I can't move her leg. Her leg feels not as straight in this leg. Yeah. Now her leg is so strong when all her weight's on the back leg. Put your weight on the front leg now.
Oh, this.
Look how she moves. Because the weight went to the front leg. Do you see how broad this concept is in Jiu-Jitsu? That's all we're thinking about. If her weight is not on that front leg, I'm using so much force, so much strength, that is a waste of time for me to use. Okay? And again, if I was to force a position here, I would literally be forcing her to put her weight back onto that front leg. That's literally what would be happening if I forced using like pure strength. Okay? But if you're fighting someone that's the same strength or stronger than you and same skill level, you won't be able to do that. Okay? So that's why we don't think to do that. We just focus on where the weight is. Observation. I say this in every one of my DVDs. The biggest thing in Jiu-Jitsu is observation. We pay attention to our opponent's base, reaction, always observing. Many people could do Jiu-Jitsu very well, but they subconsciously do it. They can't observe what's going on in a conscious way. When you're consciously able to say, wow, this is what's happening, you'll know the exact approach to use. That's what we're doing in this spot, okay? When she puts her weight off that front leg, it's gonna feel very heavy because there's no weight on it. There's nothing there. You can't move something that there's no weight on it. It's all gonna be on her back leg. We're gonna take advantage of that. We're gonna place more weight on her back leg and then we're gonna sweep her, okay? There's gonna be many different ways I sweep her from this spot, okay? There's many different leg entanglements, leg switches that I can do in this spot. So, but the first one we're gonna focus on is I'm gonna be using my shin as a knee shield on her stomach. Almost like closed guard again, because everything we do where our legs are wrapping around her body are essentially like closed guard, right? And what is closed guard? Closed guard is mount upside down, okay? So that is why closed guard is such an effective move in Jiu-Jitsu. It's literally mount upside down. Closed guard would probably be point in IBJJF if it wasn't for the self-defense aspect of Jiu-Jitsu, right? Because when you're in closed guard in self-defense, you can get punched in the face, but if you're in mount, it's way more difficult to get punched in the face. So it's probably the only difference between the two. But besides that thing, when we're in this spot, all I want you guys to think about, observation. I'm giving you an answer for each spot. When the person's square, we attack the submission. When the person's front leg, we have all those options from before, and we have also berimbolo and waiter, like we learned in other lessons. And now we're going to learn when the weight's on the back leg. So stand up, please. Let's begin. I'm going to be here. I'm going to get to this spot here. I'm going to get weighted here. I'm going to bring her body here, and I'm going to get to this spot. I'm going to do what we learned before. Her arm is weak, so she can make her arm strong. I lift up, I bring the leg up. I go to the sleep, I break it, I end up in this spot here. Okay? We learned before, if she grabs my leg when I'm stepping here, she lifts up my leg and puts her foot on the floor. Now put your foot on the floor.
Oh, here.
And now I'm in all this stuff from here, right? Now we're gonna go on to the next thing, so go back down. Instead of her coming up, and instead of her staying in this square range where I could square her head to my body and start attacking submissions, now what she's going to do is she's going to put all the weight on her back leg and fall down to her side. No, stay up on your side here. Your weight on this hip.
Oh, legit.
Yes. Now what it's going to feel is that her leg is going to be slipping out. You see? Because I don't have any more control anymore of this leg. I can bend it. Look, I can put as much weight as I want on this leg. Nothing's happening, guys.
Is that because I'm not putting any strength?
There's no spot. There's nothing in this leg now.
Crazy.
It's dead.
Makes it heavy.
It makes it heavy because there's nothing there. So I'm putting pressure on something that there's nothing there. Which you'll see many times people try to do, and just a little squeeze. Now put a little weight on your leg. Look how your leg bends. See the difference? Now go back on your side. Same thing before. I can't bend her leg now. So when I'm here, I can't bend her leg. What am I going to do? I'm going to focus on sweeping her. But when I sweep her, I can no longer sweep her on this forward leg. So how am I going to sweep her? I'm going to sweep her all on her back leg. I'm going to sweep her exactly where her weight is. We're going to remove whatever percentage of the weight she has left in her body in other parts, all to that leg, all to that hip, okay? She only has one arm to post here, right? Because of this spot. I have her other arm. The only way she could defend a sweep, we learned this in De La Riva part 1, is posting, right? She's only going to have one arm to post. So it's going to be very difficult for her if I'm able to figure out how to sweep her here. So what is our first method of sweeping? Our first method of sweeping is going to be how I use my shin. So when I'm here, notice how I have the waiter hook, right, on her body. I'm stepping on the ASIS in this range. I'm going to put my shin, I'm going to hook her back, I'm going to put my shin on her like a knee shield. So let go and go to knee shield. Look how I have a knee shield on her body, right? I'm hooking her ribs, and my shin is around her body. This shin around her body makes it difficult for her to come into me because I have my shin protecting me. You see, I have this bar around her body. This is amazing for scissor sweeps. This is amazing for many different things in jiu-jitsu. So now let's go back to the spot. Just here. Here, you sit down. Your weight's on the back leg. So I'm trying to bend. I'm not able to move her. What am I going to do? I'm going to hook her belt around the line of her belt in this range. I'm going to put my foot flexing against her leg. I'm going to push this leg down, and all I'm going to do is this. I want to get on my elbow, right? Why do I want to get on my elbow? Because the second I get on my elbow, I'm able to remove weight from my upper body and put it on my legs. If I'm able to be on my elbow, I'm able to press down with my leg now because I'm able to transfer weight from my upper body to put pressure on my legs. You see? This is what we're always trying to do in jiu-jitsu, especially to finish a sweep. So when I'm here and I hook her body, like her belt area, all I'm going to do is this. I'm going to focus on getting on my elbow. But how? All I'm going to do is this. I push her leg. I'm going to move my arm back. I have two methods to get to my elbow. The first one is I use a side foot on the floor. I go on my head. Once I go on my head, I draw my elbow, and now I can go on my knee. Now look how I can go on my arm and elbow. Second one, I can just literally bring my arm back, posting my arm. Post my arm back, and I can go here. The first one, I can push the leg, go on my head here, frame on my knee, or anything in this range. Now I'm already on my head, right? Now I'm on my elbow. Or I can push my hand. You see? There's both two different ways I can get onto my elbow. Both are fine. So one of them, I'm here. Just keep your weight there, yeah. One of them, I close my elbow. I go on my head and shoulder, like this. And I go side foot on the floor. What do we learn about the side foot, live foot theory? Well, I always talk about this in every DVD. Side foot moves our body. Live foot is when we can connect our knee to the floor. So I'm side foot. I go on my shoulder and head. I go 1, 2. My knee goes to the floor. Look. Now look how my elbow goes to the floor. That's one. The second way, I'm here. I bring my elbow back. This motion of bringing my elbow back helps me post on my elbow here. Now I go on my elbow like this, and now I go side foot, and now I'm able to post my elbow, and it helps me get the live foot. Every time we're able to get the live foot, look what I can do. I hook her back, I bring her body forward like this. No, stay up, please. Keep on that back leg. As I put pressure forward, I'm going to use my shin on her body, pushing her body in that direction of where her hip is, that back hip. So by her back hip, I mean this way. I'm bringing her body this way. All to that side on her body.
You're kind of trying to put me back on my butt.
I'm trying to put all your weight where it is because it's on that back leg. So I hook, I put pressure, I'm going to come up on my foot, and now look what I do. I stretch my shin, and now I'm going to push my shin into her. I'm going to pull. Wait, stay up.
I'm putting a lot of pressure into it.
I put pressure into the back of my foot. I use my shin. I pull the arm. I stretch. And as I stretch, I'm going to put weight into my forward leg. Pushing into the back hip. Here. Look how she falls. Okay? I'm going to land in this spot here. If you could change sides, please. We're going to land right here. Okay? When I land here, Berimbolo people, this is an amazing spot. Passers, we're gonna peel that foot and we're gonna go out of this spot, okay? Berimbolo people, if we wanna go into berimbolo and stuff like that, I can move my hand like this, taking my knee line out, and start going into berimbolo here. Or I could change sides and go here. Or I could lose this leg and go here and drop my knee in here. Or I can move my knee to here, stay up please, and hips up, like foot on my hip. I can bring my knee to this side of her body. Now I can clear and go here. There's so many different berimbolo options in this spot. For passers, when we land here and I have the arm, all I want you to do is this. This leg, we're just gonna monitor, clear this leg, getting my body in front because she wants to push me away. So we want to clear this.
I feel like you do that. You pass me like this sometimes.
Yeah, because your leg is open. And I have two options here. One cool option. I clear the leg and I do this. I come up and I go like this.
You
To
did
mount.
this one to me.
Yes. You see? So when I'm here, the knee is blocking me. I open the knee. I bring my foot in like this. You see?
It just feels so familiar.
And now I can land and mount like this. Look. To mount. It's a really cool option that you'll feel really awesome doing if you could get this knee to be open. As long as I can get this knee to be open, I could lift up. I don't even need the sleeve anymore. I just have to be here. And I just bring her knee open and look. I go to mount like this. And now I can go here. Again, this is a sneak pass. If you don't want to do this, then you can just do this. I'm here. The foot's blocking. I grab the leg. I get inside control, monitoring with the elbow. So I'm here. Now I clear the leg. I'm in this spot here. I'm in a knee cut. I'm in many different things once I get here. I could even go here, fall back down, clear my foot, come back again. So now I'm not even inside her legs. I can even here, clear the leg and start going into pressure passes, such as half guard, such as over under. So many options. Okay, I just wanted to give you a few so you can play with them. So come back up, please. But guys, does it make sense so far what I'm saying? Like, why that leg is so heavy in the front is because there's no weight on it. I'm fighting something that's weightless. I can't fight and bend a leg that's weightless. There's nothing on it to fight. So I gotta move all her body weight onto this leg. And the second I do that, I'll be able to sweep her. Okay, so I'm here. I go to weight her. She's pushing down my leg. We're here. Once I arrive here, I feel that her arm is weak. I go here. She's putting weight on her arm now, but she arm yes. I lift, head to the belt. Hand, break to grip. I arrive here. She's holding my collar or whatever. She sits on her side, right? She's here. I want to bend her leg. I can't. There's no way. I use the foot hooking her back. I use our two methods to get on our elbow. I can put my head to the floor, tuck my elbow, and do this. Post, here, or post my hand, 1, 2. I don't want to immediately use my leg, so I use my elbow first. And now I post. You see, both are totally fine to do here. Once I get to this spot, I'm hooking her back. I'm going to pull her back to me. I'm going to use my shin on her body. I'm going to pull the arm. I'm going to post. Because once I post, and once I'm on my live foot here, all my weight could go to my leg to stretch. I can put weight from my upper body onto my legs. And I'm going to put all her weight onto that side hip. If you could point to your side hip right now. No, just like literally touch it. Like your belt. The side hip, like
Oh, here?
over, closer to the red thing. Like a little back. Little back, the other way.
Oh, here.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking about. That spot right there. I don't even know how to explain that. Right there is what I'm targeting. Okay? So post your hand again, yep. Now all I'm gonna do is pull the sleeve. I'm gonna stretch my shin. I'm gonna push weight up and I'm gonna stand up at the same time. And you fall. You guys know you can stay up there, right? Try. So I'm here, I put pressure forward.
Even before you put your weight in, I feel like I can't stay up.
It's using my shin to press into your ribs. So all I do is this. Shin into ribs, I pull.
Are you lifting up this leg too?
I'm straining your leg more. Because as I straighten your leg more, look where your weight's going more. It's going more in your leg, right? Look how you fall. Look how she posted her hand. Because look what I'm doing. Go back to the post. As I lift this up, I'm putting more weight onto that hand. Look how her arm collapses. Go back.
Try to keep your arms straight. So I want you to bring your shoulder back. So you can put, no,
Oh, like this?
shoulder back, you brought it forward. Here, yes, now you're gonna be stronger probably. So now what I do is I go here. I put weight forward, and now I bring your body to exceed your hand. Okay, I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. When she's posting her arm, we learned this in De La Riva Part 1. If you're not familiar with that, please go back and understand the rules of posting. She's posting her hand right now. For her to have even an effective post, she needs her shoulder back, right? For her arm to be strong. I talked about this many times. Every time her butt exceeds her hand, her shoulder comes forward, meaning her elbow will collapse. Literally. And now she only has one arm to do this. So if she's posting all her weight on that one arm, and we make her weight so heavy on that one post, her hand will not be able to completely keep her body up, right? So let's see what's happening with her hand again.
That's
Just go, we don't have to go, just go back on your knees. Right here. From here, raise, now go on your side. Oh, wait here. I hook, I tuck the elbow, I go on my head, I get here. Look, when I get here, keep your arms, you brought your shoulder forward again. Look how your arm is bent. Bring your shoulder back and your arm straight. Does your arm feel stronger to post now?
Yes, it does.
So look what I do. If I try to sweep her this way, I can't, right? Because her arm is still strong. As I stand up and I start pulling her body forward, look how when I use my shin forward, look how her shoulder comes forward and then her elbow collapses back. Let's angle ourselves this way. Here. Just go on your side though. Yep. Elbow back. Shoulder back.
Oh, it does.
Okay, now your post feels strong, right? So now I bring her body forward, I pull her body forward. I lift up, I pull her body forward, look how her shoulder comes forward. Look how her shoulder comes forward, look. And now I push back. See how your arm collapses? Come back. See how her arm is basing now? All I do is, her shoulder's already forward. She's gonna fall already. Okay, actually she has a stronger post, come back. So if her arm is stronger here, I lift up, I pull her body down, and now I put pressure on the side of her body to make her fall. Once she falls, I land in this spot where we have all our options. All our options. So again, she's here. She's straightening her arm. So I just angle my head to the belt. I lift up. I bring the leg up. Break the grip. I get here. She goes on her side. So now there's no weight into this leg. It's dead. So all I do is this. I tuck my elbow in, side foot, and come up, or I bring my elbow back and come up. See, both ways I could get up, no problem. I get here. I hook her body. I put weight on that side. I put weight on that side. See, look how her elbow gets pushed every time I do this. You see? Here. I go like this. 1, 2. 1, 2. And I raise the leg at the same time. Now once I do this, look how I can stand up. As I stand up, the weight will be too much and her elbow collapses. Getting here. Again. From here. Get to this spot. She puts weight on her side. So now I can't sweep her. All I do is this. I go side foot, elbow tuck, head on the floor, come up. Or I come. I get here. As I try to put my foot to the floor, my back leg, I'm going to pull forward to move my shin across her body more. I'm going to put pressure on my shin. I'm going to stand up, and her elbow will collapse. You see? Come back up. As I pull the arm, if I pull the arm, I can lift more of the head. Look, I pull the arm, lift more of the head, lift more of the head. Now look how much more collapsed she is. Keep your arm straight. It's hard, right? No, that arm. Why are you keeping this arm straight?
Oh,
That one. You're opposed.
So here. As I come up, I lift the leg up. He's putting too much weight on her arm to withstand it to keep a pose. Look. When I get here. Okay? So again. Let's get this here. Sit on the side. Okay. I get to this spot, I start hooking, I lift up. As I lift up, I use my shin on her body, bringing my body forward, putting all my weight on that forward leg to step on the floor. And right here. Okay? So this is the first sweep that we're going to do from this spot. Understanding how we're sweeping here is the most important here that I want you to think about, and we're going to continue on from here. Okay guys, so now we're ready to proceed on to the next position. The position before we learned how to remove the person's weight from their whole body onto that back leg. And what else did we learn from the position before? We learned that every time we can get their opponent's weight to the back leg, sweeping opportunities will be presented, just like in Berimbolo, just like in X guard, just like in many other guards and positions. What you're going to learn now is how whenever when you try to put weight onto your opponent's back leg and the opponent tries to defend a sweep, what do they have to do to defend a sweep? They have to put weight back onto the front leg. I show this so many times in my Berimbolo system, guys, how I bait the weight on the back leg by attempting to sweep my opponent. Whenever I attempt to sweep my opponent will defend, putting weight onto their front leg. And what did we learn in the Berimbolo series? Whenever the weight's on the front leg, I could take her back, right? So that is the concept we play over and over and over in the Berimbolo system. Now in waiter, how is this applicable? Because whenever I'm playing waiter and I remove my weight from my opponent's front leg and put it on the back leg, and I attempt to sweep her, she's going to defend by going on her toes, pushing backward to try to put me back on my back to defend the sweep, putting weight on her front leg. Every time that we go to the front leg, what does that mean for us? That means our options from before we're able to go back to, as well as because there's weight on her front leg, I could invert under my opponent's front leg again and get under her. This is one of my favorite variations to this position, guys. I did this move, if you want to watch a reference to this move, I did this move against João Miao in American Nationals in 2016. I fed the grip just like we said. I went to do the first sweep that I just showed, and he stood up. His reaction was, he gave me this spot that we just did. I got my shin to his body. His reaction was, he posted his hand, and after posting his hand, he didn't just stay on his butt like Tammy did. He then went on his toes and stood up, pressing as hard as he could to put his weight onto the front leg. Once he did that, guys, I took advantage of that opportunity and inverted under him. I didn't have to go under on my shoulder or anything. I just fall under him. Once he came up, I just went back down, went under his hip, and I was able to, and that puts you in all the positions we learned in the waiter system for before, right? So let's explain this reaction first. I'm going to show you Tammy doing it on me, and then I'm going to explain to you what I'm going to do from bottom. So, go this way. I'm going to be here. She's going to put me in waiter. Again, waiter. If my foot is lower than her butt and she underhooks my arm, she won't have enough volume in her arm to wrap around my arm, around my leg, right? So the higher my foot is, the more volume her arm has to wrap around my leg, right? So she goes to waiter. I'm just going to keep throwing in those concepts so you keep seeing that. I'm putting weight on my arm. She pulls me forward. She brings my foot up her tricep, raises it. She gets the grip. She goes 2 on 1, breaks the grip. She gets me in this spot here. I grab the collar because I'm already in a crappy spot. This is what João did with me also. Because I can't move anywhere. So I need to base my arm somewhere to put weight on her. Okay? Now she's going to start hooking my back with her foot, De La Riva foot, her shin. She wants to go on her knee, take no stand up, and sweep me, right? Because the second I'm posting my arm, go back. Second I'm posting my arm, and she gets on her elbow, and she pushes my body to the floor. Look how my body falls, and my hand moves. I fall down, and I get swept. So now, the reaction is going to be this. Because all my weight's on the back leg and this arm. When she starts coming up, what I'm going to do is this. Start coming up, go on your toes. I'm going to do this. As she tries to come up, I'm going to go on my toes as well. So you see I'm on a side foot. I'm going to do the same movement she just did. I'm going to go on a side foot as well. I'm gonna be here. So keep your arm posted, and we're gonna end up in this spot here. You see how I have a live foot now also? And I'm pushing into her. I'm pushing into her. Because I'm trying to keep her from coming up. If she comes up and I don't go to the live foot, I'm gonna fall down and get swept. You see? This is exactly how Juwan reacted to me. This is how everyone reacts here if they don't want to give up the sweep. I have to. I literally have to. Any other way I go, I'm gonna get swept. So the only thing I can do is try to post my arm, go live foot, because I'm on a side foot now. So I use my hand to post to get on the side of my foot up the live foot. Once I'm live foot, I can push into her and possibly get her back to her back, right? And we learned before a lot of attacks when the person's on the live foot, on the front leg, right? So now I'm gonna show you a variation I really like to do to get under the person, attack berimbolo, or attack the back, or sweep, whatever I wanna do from the waiter. But this concept of the weight going from the back to the front leg is what I need you guys to understand before we do this move. If you didn't understand that, you'd be confused why we're doing this, okay? It's because I'm putting weight back into her. This leg is no longer dead. It's no longer no weight on this leg. I'm changing my weight from all my back leg into my front. Once that happens, all our things that we wanted to do from before are alive again. Okay, so now come on. Again, observation is crucial in you being able to do these moves efficiently. So now already you see what's happening. It's gonna be very easy for me to explain what's going on because I just showed you the scenario. I showed you what happened, how she reacted. How I reacted, okay? So now this is gonna happen. I'm gonna be a waiter. I'm gonna bring the leg up. I'm gonna get the grip, I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna get this sleeve here, she's gonna sit on her side. She's gonna be here. Again, if I'm here, she's on her side foot right now, right? As I come up, I go live foot, she's gonna grab my collar. She's gonna go live foot as well. She's gonna end up here, yes. In this spot here. Notice, she wants to push into me and put weight on me, yes. To make my post fall down, to sweep me back down, right? Now she's back into this spot. So what am I going to do? I'm gonna do this. When we're here, I start coming up, I start posting my arm. She posts her foot. I end up in this spot here. What I'm going to do, you can bring your leg up, yeah. What I'm gonna do is start coming up. What I'm gonna do is this, as she starts coming up, I'm gonna put all her weight onto the front leg now. As I do this, I'm gonna bring that back leg to my head like this, watch. I'm gonna fall down, I'm gonna fall down, bringing her knee to my head like this. Look where I just ended up, guys. I'm back in regular waiter, and I have the sleeve. So now look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna raise her hip up, putting all the weight on this front leg. Now look what I can do. I can go under her now. And start exposing the back, or other positions, whatever you prefer. But notice how that weight transfer instantly gave me the chance to change sides and go under her. So, at drill before, we were practicing putting all our weight on the back leg. Now we're changing it all to the front. She's pushing into me with that front leg. No problem. I'm gonna pull her weight even more to that front leg. And I'm gonna go under it now. Exactly the opposite concept. But it's the same concept, but exactly on the opposite leg. That's what I mean, I'm sorry. Same exact concept, just on the opposite leg. Now our application of all our attacks on the front leg, the weight being on the front leg, are gonna be present again. Meaning, when her weight's on the front leg, we could go under it, right? Like we always learned in waiter, whenever we could get the weight on that front leg, we could bend it, we could do many things on the front leg. When the weight's on the back leg, we have sweeping opportunities. Just understanding this one concept alone will improve your waiter tremendously. You see, this is why I'm overly saying this. I need you guys to understand this. Whenever the weight's on the front leg, we can bend the knee, we get attacked. Because there's weight on it. When the weight's on the back leg, we're just gonna put all the weight there and come up in a sweep. Okay? So again. Here, I go to waiter. I bring her leg here, I give this spot, I feed the grip. I have the sleeve here. She grabs my collar, she sits on her side, she's here. Right? She's on her side here. All her weight's on the back leg. I try to move this leg, there's nothing there to bend. I don't feel like her leg's dead, right? All her weight's here, right? I'm gonna post in the back leg. All I'm gonna do is this. She's on a side foot like me. I'm gonna replicate her and get my arm posted. I'm gonna get live foot. She's gonna replicate me also and go live foot and post into my chest with her hand, pushing me. You see? As she pushes me, she's trying to get my body back down to sweep me, just like I did before. So now we're almost in the same spot, except I'm in a way better spot because I have my foot on her shin. As she puts weight into me, I'm gonna pull her into me as well, so start standing up. As she puts weight into me, I'm gonna start pulling weight into her and stand and going under her. So as she puts weight into me, I do this. Come back. Move your hand. So as I'm here and I start coming up and she comes up and she's putting weight onto this front leg to push me down, I pull that front leg up as well and I bring my head to her back leg because that's what we need to do in waiter, right? So look, as she puts weight into me, I bring her knee to my head. Once I bring her knee to my head, look what I'm going to do. Once she brings my knee to my head, look what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a hip grip. I'm going to push her body and go this way on her. Look. Once I go this way, I'm able to start exposing back. Okay? I'm here. Go to Dolahiva. Again. She falls on her side. I go side foot, I start coming up. I can't, I'm gonna sweep her. She starts to bang. Look how she's defending me. I feel that she defended. The second I feel she defended, I feel weight on her front leg now. I feel weight transferred to her front leg, so I push her, she pushes against me. So I do this motion. This is how I get under her. I do this. 1, as I push her down, she's gonna push into me. 2. Look how she lands. The second she lands like this, I put my knee on top of my shin like this, and I end up in waiter, where I have the options from before, where I could sweep her this way. I can feed the collar, where I bring her forward again and punch it. I have the option of when I'm here, she straightens her body to break this collar grip. That way. Now I end up here, change sides. Yes. More. I arrive here. When I arrive here, guys, look what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab the back leg. I'm going to place my foot under her knee. I go to baby bolo. I can bring my leg here. I show you so many attacks from here, guys, in the other series. I don't care how you finish the attacks. You can follow all of those from the other series. But I just care that you get here. This is where you can do all the different attacks. Okay? So again, I'm here. So our key is, when we start coming up and I push into her, I wait for her to push back. The second she pushes back, she's putting pressure with her front leg into me. That is why I shoot myself under in that exact moment, okay? So I'm here. Go to Dolahiva. Under her, I go here. He's pushing my leg. I'm here. I arrive here, I lift up, I rearrange the grip, I break. I get here, I start going here. She puts weight on the back leg. I'm here. If I can, I come up, I put pressure down, I sweep her. You see? Basically, whenever I can get my knee and leg, my shin completely on her body, I can put pressure and sweep her, dropping her elbow. What she does is, as I'm trying to drop her elbow and start sweep her, I feel weight come into me here. So I push again, because she's gonna put weight forward with her leg. I feel weight go on her leg. The second I feel is I go 1, 2, 3. Look how her leg comes to my head now. Once I get here, I can grab both collars, I can feed to this collar, I can lift up, I can sweep. I can grab one, she breaks, stretching her body. Go under, here. I can, when I'm here, I still have the sleeve. I can move her body away from me here. Her head is aligned with me now, right? I can put the foot here, back to the shoulder. Bend the wrist if I want, or I can attack the triangle here. Triangle. Back to all our options from before. Because the front leg is viable again. We're back in the ballpark. If the front leg is back, we could go back to all our other attacks. Okay? So again. Here. I get to this spot. Now she fell down. As she falls down, all I do is I push the leg, I go on my elbow. Any way I want to get on my elbow, I showed you many ways. You're here. I'm stretching, I'm trying to sweep her. She went live foot. Look how her toes are live. Her feet are on the floor. Yes. Feet on the floor. Now that she has her feet on the floor, she can generate pressure from that forward foot onto my body to push me down. You see? That's why when I'm here and her foot is live, and she puts pressure into me, I go 1, she puts pressure into me, 2. I end up here. As I arrive here, look how I have the arm. I can even switch to the bicep if I want. Switching inside to both grips here. I can go over both grips. I can grab the collar. Preference, whatever you guys prefer. Berimbolo people, I think this is a great grip if you get to the cross collar, to this collar here. Because when she breaks it, I can take her back. You see? And I can go here. Again. If I want to already land here, I can. If I want to land in waiter, I can. Whatever I prefer. Okay? Some people that don't like doing back takes, they can land square. Even if I do back takes, I can land square just to see if I have more attacks like the submission. Okay? But I like to always land here. This is my favorite. This is my goal. So I can get to this spot. Yeah. No, I'm not on my shoulder. So I push. I start coming up. I try to sweep her using my knee on her body. She starts coming up. I go here. I land here. Once I arrive here, three ball other options again. Want to land in waiter, I can go here. If I want to land on the back, I go here. I just have to keep my knee out here. This knee is out, not in for knee bar exposure. So my knee's out. And I'm safe to attack the back however I want. Please. Drop on your hip first. Push my leg. We arm. Here. So as you guys see, the flow that happens, I instantly, the second I start coming up, she has to put her weight forward. So she's in a predicament. She's in, what do I always say? She's in a, what do I always say? I say a term. I always say, she's in a dilemma. She's in a dilemma. I always make my opponent create dilemmas in jiu-jitsu. When I'm able to make my opponent she's in a dilemma,
she has two options. Both aren't good for her, which is amazing for me. Because she does one, I get one thing. If she does the other, I get the other thing. So it's a win-win, right? If she stays down, I sweep her. Great. We learned what to do. If she comes up to defend the sweep, putting her weight on the front leg, awesome. Now I get to the deep weighted position where I'm going to sweep her or take her back anyway. So there's no lost position for me in this spot. Okay? I just need to have this in my mind. I need to know where I'm going to go based on her reaction. If I didn't know this, I would be lost. That's why it's important we know every spot, every reaction. And I did that for you in this series. I literally give you every reaction possible the person could give you later. And these spots you see already, we already understand every grip they can make on our body, our upper body versus legs. So you're going to see this more and more in the series, that if she does one thing, I can do the other. If she does one thing, I can do the other. It's always a correlation, and I'm always making her have these dilemmas where she's stuck in between two things. She doesn't know where to go. She's like, do I just stay down and give the sweep? Do I stay up and give the back? It's funny because a lot of people I fight now or that understand like Berimbolo, what they do is they actually just give me the sweep because they don't want me to get under them, you know. But if it's like 2 minutes left and I'm trying to sweep the person and they're trying to stay up, you know, they don't want to give up a sweep, they give me the back. And a lot of people will just give you the back because they defend the sweep, then you get the back. I talk about this in my collar sleeve series so much. I talk about that there's 3 things we could do in guard. Always. Submit, doing a submission. Taking the back, submission, taking the back, and sweeping the person. All 3 are correlated. Whenever I try to sweep my opponent, they defend, I can get the back or submission. Every time I go for the back, I can sweep my opponent or go for a submission. All 3 are correlated. So we're always playing with 3 things when we're playing guard. If we're not playing with all 3 things, our opponent will be able to defend whatever one we're doing, and we'll have a gap in our attacks. So I need you guys to understand that we're doing 3 things when we play guard. Attacking submissions, attacking a sweep, and attacking the back. As you see in this De La Riva series, I'm giving you so many different options. And when your opponent is negligent on one of those options, they're just focused on defending one thing, you get the other. So it's a win-win for us, okay? I want you to keep playing with this. We have now a new option when they put their weight on the front leg to defend. We're back into the front leg world. So we already know front leg, back leg. It's just following our old school format for the De La Riva system, right? With the weight on the front versus the weight on the back. We're just learning more and more things we can do from here, and it's just super cool how everything stays the same, even though we're not even in regular De La Riva anymore. We're in waiter. And we have a lot more attacks when the weight's on the back leg, you see. We had the sweeping option, and then when they put the weight on the front leg again, we're back to our other stuff, okay? So I want you to work this now, and we're just going to keep building on everything. But as you see, this is a system, and we keep having you see all the different reactions, all the different bases. And we're just going to keep working this, and we're going to keep going forward.